Imagine paying $330,000 for a hamburger. That's not a typo. In 2013, that's exactly what the world's first lab-grown burger cost to produce. Fast forward to today, and that same burger now costs less than 10 bucks. This isn't just about cheaper burgers. It's about a technology that could completely transform how we feed billions of people. What you're about to learn might change how you think about the meat on your plate. We're talking about meat grown directly from animal cells, no slaughter required. And in 2025, this technology just hit a tipping point that nobody saw coming this fast. So here's what's really happening. For over a decade, scientists have been quietly perfecting the art of growing real meat in massive steel tanks, kind of like brewing beer, but with animal cells instead of yeast. The process starts with a tiny sample of cells from a cow, chicken, or pig. We're talking about a piece smaller than a sesame seed. These cells are then fed a nutrient-rich soup and given the perfect conditions to multiply. In about 2 to 3 weeks, you've got enough cells to form actual meat that you can cook and eat. The secret sauce behind this price collapse? 3 game-changing breakthroughs all happening at once. First, artificial intelligence entered the picture. AI systems now monitor these growing cells 24/7, adjusting temperature, nutrients, and dozens of other factors in real time. It's like having a master chef who never sleeps and can taste test a million recipes per second. Companies using AI have cut their production costs by up to 40%. Second breakthrough, the bioreactors themselves. These are the giant tanks where the magic happens. The newest models pump out 400% more meat than just 2 years ago. Companies ditched the expensive pharmaceutical-grade equipment they were using and designed systems specifically for food production. Think of it like switching from making watches to making smartphones. Same basic idea, but built for scale and efficiency. But here's the real game changer that nobody's talking about enough. The biggest cost in growing meat this way used to be something called fetal bovine serum. Sounds gross, because it is. It comes from unborn calves and cost a fortune. Scientists finally cracked the code on making a plant-based alternative that works just as well and costs pennies on the dollar. One company got their growth medium down to 50 cents per liter. That's like finding a way to run your car on tap water instead of premium gas. Now, you might think with all this progress, grocery stores would be stocked with lab-grown steaks by now. Not so fast. Here's where things get really interesting and kind of dark. The traditional meat industry isn't going down without a fight. In the United States alone, 5 states have completely banned lab-grown meat. Florida, Alabama, Arizona, Mississippi, and Nebraska have made it illegal to even sell the stuff. Politicians are literally calling it a conspiracy by global elites to control what we eat. Meanwhile, the same meat giants funding these political campaigns, companies like JBS, Tyson, and Cargill, are secretly investing hundreds of millions into lab-grown meat startups. They're playing both sides, protecting their current business while buying insurance for the future. What's their game plan? They're pushing for laws that would force these products to be labeled as imitation meat or lab-grown protein, terms their research shows make people less likely to buy. They funded a sketchy study claiming lab-grown meat was worse for the environment than regular beef, which got debunked, but not before spreading across social media like wildfire. They're even targeting military contracts, claiming it's unpatriotic to feed our troops anything but traditional American beef. Meanwhile, in Europe, Italy banned it completely, calling it an attack on their food culture. The European Union is moving so slowly on approvals that companies are bleeding cash waiting for the green light. Only Singapore, Israel, and parts of the US have actually said, yes, you can sell this stuff. Here's what really matters, though. By 2030, experts predict this meat could cost the same as what you buy at the supermarket today. Some optimists say it'll be even cheaper. When that happens, we're looking at a $1 trillion disruption. The companies that survive the current bloodbath will be the Teslas and Apples of food. But let's be real about the challenges. Growing meat at the scale needed to feed millions of people is insanely difficult. You need facilities the size of breweries, but way more complex. Any contamination ruins entire batches worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The amount of energy required is massive. Some scientists argue there are hard physical limits to how cheap this can get, comparing it to trying to make computer chips in your garage. Then there's the taste problem. Early versions were basically expensive chicken nuggets. Now companies are using 3D printing and something called scaffolding to create actual steaks with marbling and texture. One startup is growing cells from exotic animals like kangaroo and alpaca, betting that if you're going to eat something new, it might as well be really new. So what does this mean for you? Within 5 years, you'll probably see these products in restaurants and specialty stores. Within 10 years, they could be everywhere. The investment money is starting to flow back in after a brutal few years where many startups died. Crowdfunding campaigns are raising millions in minutes. The smart money is betting this is inevitable. But here's the twist nobody expects. The future probably isn't lab-grown meat replacing traditional meat entirely. The big meat companies are positioning themselves to own both. They'll sell you a regular burger on Monday and a lab-grown one on Tuesday, and they'll make money either way. They're turning a disruption into a product line extension. What we're witnessing isn't just about food technology. It's about how entrenched industries respond to existential threats, how politics and money shape what ends up on our plates, and whether we can innovate our way out of environmental catastrophe. The $10 lab-grown burger isn't the end goal. It's the beginning of a much bigger transformation in how humanity feeds itself. The real question isn't whether this technology will succeed. It's who will control it when it does. Will it be the same companies that dominate meat today? Silicon Valley startups? Or someone we haven't heard of yet? That's the multi-trillion-dollar question that'll shape the future of food. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.